Welcome to the Teachers Impact Podcast, or better yet known as The Tip, where teachers can come to master their craft, use their voice, and enhance student learning. Welcome to the Teachers Impact Podcast, better yet known as The Tip. On this episode, we'll be talking about 5 teaching mistakes I've made and how to prevent them. You sometimes may think that the perfect teacher does exist. Despite the many accolades, awards a person may have, most teachers make mistakes. And these are just a few of the mistakes that I've made and what to do to prevent them. Number 1, the first one is understanding how to build professional relationships. So what I did, I was always going to conferences and meeting people and thinking that I was networking, but I didn't realize that building a professional network is building relationships. You have to take the time and effort to build those relationships, and those relationships build your network so that you can rely on to support you in your career. At this point, I focus on building relationships with my coworkers and colleagues instead of just getting to know someone. So there's an intention behind it. The second mistake I made was to take evaluation feedback personally. At one point, I did not receive good feedback and I was really upset about it. I felt like I planned a great lesson and it went well, but I didn't think the feedback was great at all. And after really thinking about it, I thought to myself that I did my best. That's what really matters. I would just need to focus on 1 or 2 improvements and ones that I truly felt like I needed to work on based on the evaluation evidence. So, it's okay to be upset, when you first receive feedback, but remember at the end of the day, if you did your best, that's all that matters. Pick 1 or 2 improvements that you need to work on based on the evidence and the evaluation and go from there. The third mistake I made was taking on too much responsibility. There is something to be said about being ambitious, but we have to remember that if you plan to stay in education for a long time, you will need to pace yourself because you will get burned out. And I have experienced this. And so taking on too much responsibility. One of the things that I did to prevent this was to ask myself the simple question: why am I doing this? Is this something that I can really add on to my plate? Once I've answered those 2 questions, then I make a decision to make sure that I'm not adding anything to my plate that I can't handle or is going to make me overwhelmed or burnt out. So some key takeaways from this episode are to build professional relationships. Remember not to take feedback personally. And number 3, be mindful of responsibilities that you take on. Thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to check out the website, teachersimpact.net. If you found this content helpful, please share, favorite, and rate on your favorite podcast app. It helps the show to grow, reach more teachers, and have an impact. You can email me at teachersimpacteducation@gmail.com or follow me on Instagram at Teachers Impact Podcast. Happy learning and growing.